During the second trimester, we have learned not only about population, but we have started with ecology, which is the branch of biology that study the interaction between organisms and their environment. We have learned the level of ecological organization, starting from the smallest one organism till the largest one, which is the biosphere. And we discussed about the food chain and the food web. And at the end, and last week, like we said, we discussed about the population. Okay, today, the lesson for today, it is pollution. We are going to discuss about environmental pollution. So what is pollution? How can we describe the environmental pollution? And during this lesson or at the end of this lesson, you are going to identify types of pollution. You know most of them. We are going to explain the factors that cause water, air, and land pollution. And at the end, you are going to analyze, let's say, the effect of fertilizer on the water environment. Now, what is environmental pollution? How can we define pollution? What can you say?
Something that has harmful effects to the environment.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
And an environment that is dirty or unclean, that is called dirt.
Dirt.
Or the damage by people to the environment.
Mm-hmm. It is caused by people, by humans in the environment. With the damage, we can define it in this way. Okay, very good. Now, pollution. One second. So pollution, how can we define pollution? It is an unwanted change in physical, it can be physical, chemical, or it can be biological characteristic of any parts, any component of the environment. It can be in water, in air, or in the soil. And this change, which can be, we can say it like we said, physical, chemical, biological, they can cause harmful effect on the life of that environment. Okay, now we are going to watch a video. It is about the effect of some kind of, let's say, pollutant on water. All devices.
Fertilizers have been used for years to grow and maintain healthy lawns. The right amount of fertilizer can create a lawn with strong, thick roots that helps prevent water pollution by filtering stormwater runoff. Too little fertilizer may cause a thin root system that can't take up all the fertilizer it's been given. And if hundreds of thousands of residential lawns are over-fertilized,
water pollution can be the result. The extra fertilizer travels past the grass's root zone and soaks into the aquifer, where almost all of the fresh water used in Florida comes from. Or it will be washed by rainfall directly into surface water or stormwater systems that drain to our local springs, lakes, rivers, and bays. Using the right amount of fertilizer makes it easier to control weeds, insects, and diseases. On the other hand, over-fertilizing can aggravate those same pest problems, make grass grow too fast, and require more frequent watering. Recent studies show that nitrate levels from fertilizer nitrogen are rising in many local water bodies. Nitrate is a form of nitrogen that is found in inorganic fertilizers. Once in our water bodies, these nutrients can cause harmful algal blooms that block out light, lower the water's oxygen level, turn the water a green or rust color, and lead to fish kills. For example, excess nitrogen is the #1 pollutant in Tampa Bay. Local governments spend millions of dollars each year to remove nitrogen from area water bodies. If your landscape is healthy and attractive, you may not need to fertilize at all. You can help keep our water clean, protect our aquatic wildlife, and have a beautiful lawn by following these tips when fertilizing. Fertilize only when the grass is actively growing. Use slow-release fertilizers. Always follow package directions. Don't fertilize before a heavy rain. Measure your yard to determine how much to buy.
For more information on Florida-friendly fertilizing, contact.
Okay, so in that video you saw fertilizer. What is a fertilizer? Who can tell me? Alenis?
It helps the plants to grow faster, to kill the insects. That's okay.
Very good. So it is, we can say, the nourishment for the plant. It contains different minerals and help the plants to grow up. And like you saw from the video, this now we know that the fertilizer, we use it for good ways to grow up the plants. But if it used uncontrolled, we can say if we use it too much, it can cause, let's say, very big problems in the environment, and one of them was water pollution. So it drains out, we can say, into underground water. It reaches water environment, and then it causes a real problem for the organisms that live there. Okay, now, like we said, pollution is, we can say, any physical change, chemical or biological change in the environment that can cause, we can say, harmful effect. And it is the introduction, we can say, of the pollutant or any molecule or contaminants into the environment. The pollutant is a substance that contaminates the environment, and we can classify pollution, environmental pollution, as water pollution, air pollution, and soil pollution. So these are three kinds of pollution that how can we classify environmental pollution. Now, air pollution. Air pollution is the introduction of chemical, or let's say of a pollutant that can be chemical or biological material that cause, let's say, harmful or let's cause harm to humans or other living things, and can cause damage to the natural environment. Can you say some effects or some causes of air pollution? What do you know for air pollution?
The human activity.
Mm-hmm.
It is caused by fabrics.
By fabrics, yes. Other?
Cars.
Mm-hmm.
Professor, yes.
Yes.
Burning of fossil fuels.
Burning of fossil fuel. And why burning fossil fuel, we can say, it can cause air pollution?
Because they release harmful gases when they are burned.
Any gases that pollute the environment, the air?
Carbon dioxide.
Monoxide.
Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Yes, they are, let's say, part of gases that pollute the environment. Now, air pollution, normally, or let's say historically, we relate air pollution with industries and transport, but there are different causes of air pollution. So these are ones that are caused by humans, but even the volcanic eruption, it causes air pollution, they are natural, or wind blow dust and sand, forest fires, evaporation of chemicals. They can be, let's say, some causes of air pollution. Now, the pollutant or the substance, let's say, in the air that can cause harm to humans and the environment is known as a pollutant. And the air pollutant includes smoke, ash, soot, and gases. Now, what are these gases that cause, let's say, air pollution? It can be carbon dioxide, like you said, carbon monoxide. They can be nitrogen oxide or sulfur oxide. Now, carbon dioxide, we can say it can affect the air pollution, and it can happen, we can say, because of deforestation and fossil fuel burning. We know that carbon dioxide, it is took from the atmosphere by plants, which make photosynthesis, and deforestation, they can increase the level of carbon dioxide in the air. Sulfur dioxide or sulfur, we can say oxide, they are dangerous in high concentration to humans and to all living things. They can be released from, if you see here, from gas, from power plants, and they can cause acid rain. Meanwhile, carbon dioxide, high level of carbon dioxide, it can cause greenhouse effect. And the high level of nitrogen oxide, which can be released or is increased in the atmosphere, the nitrogen oxide, due to the transportation vehicles or airplane, then it can cause, we can say, different smoke precursors. Now, carbon dioxide is a, let's say, is a good transmitter of the sunlight, but because it restricts the infrared radiation going back from Earth into the space, which produce, so this one that is called the greenhouse gases. So high amount of carbon dioxide, it will not allow the infrared radiation going back to Earth, and this is why we have, let's say, global warming. So it is one cause of the global warming. And if you see here, acid rain, once that sulfur dioxide, it is released in the atmosphere from different fabrics. Now clouds, they will be formed with sulfuric acid. And when it will rain, this sulfuric acid, it will cause a problem with plants or with all living organisms, mostly organisms that live on water. They will have different and really problem, because the pH, or let's say their environment, will change. Now we have learned about, or you have heard about, global warming, ozone depletion, greenhouse effect. Like we said, the greenhouse effect. So some of the sunlight, they enter into the atmosphere. Some of it is reflected back. But when the level of carbon dioxide increases, then it cannot pass. This is why the temperature increases in the Earth's surface. And the ozone layer, which is caused by CFC pollutant or chloroformous chemicals, they are released, we can say it, by our household containers like a refrigerator or air conditioner. This pollutant, they go into the atmosphere. Now the sunlight, it breaks down these molecules, these three chemicals, into small one, and this product, let's say, they change the amount of or the type of the oxygen that is found from O2 in O3 in the atmosphere, and creating an ozone depletion or increasing the ozone layer. And they are, we can say, side effect, negative effect of air pollution. Now about water pollution. Water pollution, it can, we can say it can be caused by sewage, by industrial waste, oil spill, and even by using pesticide, or the agriculture can be a part. Like we said, the fertilizer, they cause water pollution. So like we said, for air pollution, which can be defined as alteration in physical, chemical, biological characteristic of air, even water pollution, we can say, can be defined as a change or alteration in physical, chemical, and biological characteristic of the water, which can cause, we can say, problems to humans and to the environment or living things that live there. Now, how do untreated, let's say, sewage pollute the water? Now, when they are released in the water, then they contain a lot of chemicals, a lot of substances inside of them. Once that they are enter into the water, the algae, which use them to grow, we can say, use these chemicals to grow up, they will grow uncontrollably. In this way, they are going to, they will use all the oxygen in the water, and they will cause the death of other organisms. The algae bloom in the environment. It cannot allow the water, let's say the sunlight, to pass into the water. In this way, organisms that live there and they make photosynthesis, they will not be able to do the photosynthesis. So it will change all the lifestyle in the environment. It can cause even harmful bacteria flourish. Industrial way, which can be chemicals like cyanide, mercury, lead, and copper, they are not biodegradable. This is why they remain in the water, and once the organisms use these chemicals, they will have serious problem till the death. And the oil spill, we can be caused by, let's say, we can say transportation that is used in water. Now they cover the surface. One, they can cover the surface of the water, so the sunlight cannot pass and no photosynthesis can happen. The oxygen which is used for cellular respiration will decrease in size, and organisms, they are going to ingest, when they feed, they are going to ingest the oil and they will die. So these are some causes of water pollution in the environment. And the third one is soil pollution. So soil pollution, it can be like, it is any change, chemical, physical, or biological change or alteration in the soil. It can be caused by littering, by dumping toxic waste, by deforestation, the agriculture, or if you see here, the agriculture is we can say the problem or a cause of soil pollution, the mining, plastics thrown there, and the household waste. Now, what is the problem with the litter? Now, the litters, they are the major problem, we can say it nowadays, because plastic, which cannot be, or glass and tines, they are non-biodegradable. So the nature cannot decompose their organisms, cannot decompose them. They are not biodegradable. This is why they will remain and they will pollute the soil. And the toxic chemical, normally they are toxic, so they can cause really problem to organisms that live on the soil environment. Normally, all this litter, toxic chemical, plastic, they will be disposed, and we can say they must be disposed of in sealed container, and they shouldn't be allowed or thrown away in the environment. In that way, they will pollute the soil. Okay, any question till here? So these are the three kinds of pollution. You have heard about it. This was a kind of, let's say, cleaning the dust in your brain just to bring them back in memory. So there are water, air, and soil pollution. Here, you are going to do an activity. It is, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences here. It is about the pollution of the water from the sewage, let's say. And it is called eutrophication, the one that the alga, we can say the algae blows and they cover the surface of the water by dying all the organisms there. So you are going to create the correct order. You are going to put numbers. So the first thing that happens in the environment, let's say, is nitrate and phosphate from raw sewage fertilizer, 1. And then you are going to put the numbers in the correct order. You have 2 minutes.
Professor Fall.
Profe, do qështë dhe taj kodit se kam bërë akoma, ne?
Yes, you have it over here. Okay, Esli, can you read it? What do you think?
Yes. I think that the first one is nitrate or phosphate from raw seaweed. Fertilizers or other sources enter a water system, river or lake.
Very good. That's true.
Then the second one is algae absorbs the nutrients and grow rapidly. The third one is algae from the blanket on the surface of the water, blocking light from reaching algae below. The fourth one is animal in water die through the lack of oxygen. The fifth one is algae die without life. And the last one is bacteria decompose the dead algae using up the oxygen in water for respiration.
Or you can only change here. So the first one, nitrate and phosphate, it is correct. The second one, the algae, they absorb these nutrients and they grow normally. Then the algae, they form, the third one, algae form a blanket on the surface of the water, blocking the light from reaching the algae that are below. And by saying, so the light cannot reach the algae that are below, then the algae die without light. And so this will be, let's say, the fourth one. And then bacteria, this one will be 5. Bacteria decompose the dead algae using up the oxygen in the water for respiration. And the last one, the animals, they are going to die. Okay, just to make only some change, but that's very good. We have any correct answer here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the last one, it will be animal in water. They will die due to the lack of the oxygen. Okay. Now, here you have a text. You are going to read this information for about 2 minutes. And in the next page that I'm going to pass it, you are going to create a mind map over here. Okay. Now, so you are going to read the information for 2 minutes, and then you are going to create the mind map with the main idea, or let's say with the main concept that you find over here. Do you know what is a mind map or a concept map?
Yes, we have done so.
Yes.
Can you explain it, Vikena?
It is the main concept in the middle, and there are branches that explain different kinds of characters or characteristics of the main thought.
Very good. So go on, you have only 2 minutes. Okay, have you finished?
Yeah, the purpose.
Okay. Okay, so I'm passing. So you have just 2 minutes to complete it, and we don't have much time. So that's the end.
Professor,
So you are going to make the concept map related to the text that you read. It was for pollution, for environmental or agriculture causes. Okay, so we don't have much time. I'm going to share the homework in Google Classroom. It will be, let's say, like a project in groups for pollution and types of pollution. Okay, but I will share it today in Google Classroom, and you are going to present your project next time. And that's